Halloween Horror Nights 32 is a little over a month away, and Horror Night Nightmares just dropped another spec map, Speculation Map version 3.5. Hasn't been too long since the last Speculation Map, and they're already dropping another one. So, let's talk about it. Welcome to the Horror Fiends. I'm your certified horror dad, Kyle Beatty, and this is obviously my wife, Amber. Today we're going to be talking about Horror Night Nightmares' new speculation map that they just dropped. We've done this a lot before, so let's just get into it. So first we're going to start with the houses and see what has changed. So we'll start with the houses that are already confirmed by Universal, and that is Stranger Things 4, Chucky, and The Last of Us. These are already confirmed by Universal, so they're not really speculations at this point, they're just confirmed. Now some of these names on the speculation map have been being thrown around right now. If you checked out our last live stream, I even talked about all of these names. They are being thrown around now, so it's nice to see it finally on a speculation map. So let's dive into these new houses. The first house we'll get into was that speculated Bigfoot house, and that is now called Campground Kills. A little more information about this house is that the Yeti term is being thrown around, and we haven't seen Yeti since Yeti Terror of the Yukon back in HHN 29. And then moving right along here, we jump right into The Exorcist. It's been on every single spec map so far. It was The Exorcist Believer, it's back to The Exorcist, the classic Exorcist, and that seems like it's not going to be changing. The Exorcist is probably coming to HHN 32.
The next house on the speculation map is going to be Blood Moon Dark Offerings. This used to be the one that had the photos of like the little Salem witch houses and the pentagram, so now we have a name to finally put with it.
So we are expecting this to be kind of like a Salem witch trial house, kind of like, you know, old Salem, the 1600s. That's kind of what we're expecting, not your kind of, you know, Spirits of the Coven house that we had last year. So we are very excited to dive into this because we've actually gone to Salem ourselves, and that's something we actually want to see at Horror Nights. So the next house is one that we've also been speculating for quite a while, and that is the Dueling Dragons house, finally with the actual name instead of a picture. Now, if you don't know what the Dueling Dragons house is, Dueling Dragons was basically a ride at Islands of Adventure a long time ago, like a roller coaster. I still don't know the story about it, even though I've said this in all of the spec map videos. I still don't know the story about it, but it does seem pretty cool to have dragons coming inside of a haunted house. I'm hoping for big dragon puppets, some medieval kind of nightingales kind of vibe inside of there, and I'm very interested to see what they do with it. So the next house is going to be one of my most anticipated houses just because I'm an Icon fanboy, and that is Dr. Oddfellow's Carnival of Thrills. This is going to be the Icon house if he is actually the Icon this year, with the whole backstory probably of Dr. Oddfellow and Jack maybe making an appearance. It's just what I've heard on the street. It's not confirmed, but we can hope, right? So this is going to be Dr. Oddfellow's Carnival of Thrills.
The next house on the spec map is going to be The Darkest Deal. That used to be what we knew as the guitar with the lightning bolt, but it's going to be a house that's kind of like Devil Went Down to Georgia vibes.
The word on the street is that this follows the story of Robert Johnson and his deal with the devil on the crossroads. We don't know if this is true, but it's something that's been going around in the community. And if this is true, this is honestly another one of my most anticipated houses because I'm very interested to see the bluesy, you know, devil crossroads vibe that is going to be inside of that house.
So the last unconfirmed house on the list is going to be Universal Monsters in Paris, but we're kind of pretty much expecting it at this point because it's been on the map every single time, and we've had a Universal Monsters house for the past few years.
So that is all the houses on this new spec map, so let's dive straight into the scare zones because a few things have changed. So the first thing you'll notice when you enter the park is that you're going into the Carnival of Oddities. Now this before on the spec map was labeled just as a horde and not a scare zone, just a roaming horde that you'll run into sometimes when you walk inside the park. But this time it is now labeled as an actual scare zone, which I'm more excited about because I felt like if you didn't have that when you walk straight through the gates of HHN and you didn't see some sort of scare zone there, you'd be kind of weirded out. But like I said in my last spec map video, this is going to be your Icon scare zone. Hopefully not like Pumpkin Lord. I'm hoping Oddfellow has more of a role in this scare zone this time. And we're going to be getting his Carnival of Oddities with his, you know, like contortionists, I'm thinking, clowns, things like that. Maybe Jack, probably not, but we'll hope for that.
So the next scare zone that you're going to come across is Vamp 69, and it is now in New York. It was in Hollywood on the last spec map, but it's pretty much confirmed to be in New York now, considering that there is a whole stage built for it now.
Next one we're going to get into is Howl-O-Scream. I'm just kidding, not Howl-O-Scream, but there is sirens. You're going to get to San Francisco and see the Siren Shipyard. This used to be the rumored Krampus zone that seemingly has just been scrapped at this point, and we're getting some kind of Siren Shipyard speculated. So that's going to be very interesting and give Howl-O-Scream a run for their money.
So the next scare zone is going to be Jungle in Central Park. This has been on the map every time as well, and it seems like that's pretty much what we're getting because we also have construction in this zone and it looks kind of jungle temple-y.
So the next we're going to get into is one I've been telling you for so long, and I'm correct about it. It is going to be Dark Zodiac in Hollywood. There was a Dark Zodiac zone back in HHN Singapore. I've talked about this in a video. You're probably tired of me saying it, but it's probably coming to the event, so you should know about it. Dark Zodiac. Real quick breakdown. Dark Zodiac signs, evil monsters of your astrology sign. Boom, there it is. All right, let's move on. So, keeping up with the theme with the last spec map, there is still some hordes on this one, and that is going to be your Death Eaters in Diagon Alley or Nocturne Alley. I'm not really sure their placement, but we do have props in there for now. I talked about it in my construction video. Make sure you check that out if you haven't. And the next one is going to be the Megan Horde inside of Springfield. There's no construction or anything going on in Springfield. Usually there never is for HHN, but that's still speculated on the map, so we'll see Megan doing a flash mob dance or something.
So the last thing we're going to talk about is the only show on the spec map right now, and that's going to be Nightmare Fuel, hopefully returning again this year because it's my absolute favorite.
You'll have noticed that probably a show is missing here, and that is the Vamp show that was speculated, the one I was talking about quite a lot, about maybe being a Mel show returning. That has completely vanished from the map. Seems like we might be getting a smaller kind of intimate performance on that stage that is being set up in New York currently. So that is everything we know about Horror Night Nightmares new spec map version 3.5 that was just released. If you have any speculations of your own about any of this that we talked about today, make sure you leave it down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon if you like HHN just as much as we do. Also, you can become a member of the channel currently to join the Haunted Homies for exclusive content. And besides that, I believe we'll probably have more content coming to you real soon. I won't say anything else, but we will see you in the fog, and we will see you in the morgue.